Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We interview local prominent professionals here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. On what? Well, their area of expertise, of course. I'm the host of the show, Matt Cather, and joining me on today's show is Josh Carnes of Lion Business Brokers. Great to have him back on the show. Really excited to talk to him today and see what's all going on in his world. Before we get to him, you can find him online at lionbusinessbrokers.com. That's lionbusinessbrokers.com. Phone number, 1-800-525-3542. That's 1-800-525-3542. And if you want to shoot him an email, he'd love to hear from you. Get back as soon as possible. It's jcarnes, it's C-A-R-N-E-S, jcarnes at lionbusinessbrokers.com. Josh, welcome to the show. It's great to talk to you again.
Hey, Matt. Great to be back.
Well, I tell you what, I know we got a ton of information to get to and a lot of stuff going on in your world. Yeah. Why don't we kick things off and kind of, unfortunately, if they have missed a previous show with you, I hope that's not the case, but if they have, we'll set the stage for them, kind of tell them what you're all about.
Yeah, so, Lion Business Brokers, essentially what we do is we help people sell their businesses. So that's that, 5,000-foot aerial view looking down. And then also want to remind everyone, if you're looking to have your questions answered on the show, you can go to lionbusinessbrokers.com/radio and enter your questions in there, and myself and my team are happy to answer those questions. Any questions you might have about exiting your business, selling your business, or getting a free valuation for your business and finding out what your business is actually worth. So,
yeah, and that's, either shoot them an email, get up with them, or we could talk about it on the show, or you could talk it personally with Josh. Either one, I'm sure he's open to either. Let's get things started, man, and let's talk about what is this month's featured listing. We'll get right into the crispy stuff of this.
Yeah, so speaking of crispy stuff, we're super excited about this month's featured listing. It is a 24-year business. It is a pizza business with 3 locations. Those 3 locations are just south of us in the Temple, Waco, Belton area. North Central Texas. They have 3 pizza franchises, or they're not franchised, they're an independent company, but 3 pizza businesses. This one is listed with Jim Calhoun, who works out of our Temple, Waco area. And this is an excellent business for anybody looking or considering getting into the restaurant or pizza business. And it's a non-franchise business, so you can come in and really make it your own. And this one is prime with that, with great reviews, great locations, everything that you would want in a pizza business. So.
And I know you got the feature listing with that. Kind of, we'll continue with it and build off that. What's really hot right now? What's kind of the real thing that's popping in your industry, I guess you could say?
Yeah, absolutely. So, manufacturing just remains hot right now. So if you have a manufacturing or distribution type business, and you're looking to sell, there is no better time than to hit the market right now and get that business out there. And then this next one was really interesting to me. So just north of us in Oklahoma, cannabis is big business. We were doing some data pulls the other day, and we realized that cannabis listings in Oklahoma right now are over 50, or just shy of 50% of all active listings in Oklahoma. So, not your average one, but it's definitely an interesting industry that is taking flight. And if you or anyone has anything like that, cannabis industry is huge right now just north of us up there. So.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot coming out of Oklahoma. I mean, it is thriving right now, and definitely an option I would go about.
Yeah. If you're looking to get into that industry, right now's the time. There's just a lot of movement. Big names coming in, little names coming out. You name it. So.
All right, so we'll stick with what's kind of hot right now. Obviously, Q1's coming to an end. How does the rest of 2022 look? I know a lot of people are interested in that.
Yeah, so it's been real interesting. Our industry as a whole has been moving, and according to the International Business Broker Association, the IBA, which we are a part of, they recently just published their national what they call market pulse survey, and according to them, and we're seeing this, it is an intense M&A pace that's going to continue throughout 2022. And I can just tell you from what we have going on right now, it is an intense pace. This month alone, we have 3 businesses that are under contract. So that means a buyer has come in, made an offer, and those sellers have accepted those offers, and we're now in due diligence phase of making sure it's everything that we presented. And it's so intense that I can tell you last night as I was getting ready to go out to dinner with the kiddos, we got an offer on another business at like 5:30 in the evening on a Friday, right? So it's definitely intense and moving like we haven't seen before. And in fact, if listeners want to access that survey, they can do so by visiting our website, lionbusinessbrokers.com. They can download the entire Market Pulse survey, which is a national survey done by the International Business Brokers, and really just kind of shows what's happening in our industry right now. So.
And remember, folks, we're talking with Josh Carnes of Lion Business Brokers today. You can find them online, like you said, lionbusinessbrokers.com. That's lionbusinessbrokers.com. Phone number, 1-800-525-3542. That's 1-800-525-3542. And, Josh, we got a cool question coming out of Fort Worth. This one's from Jacob, so we'll do a quick listener's question. From Fort Worth, I'm thinking of selling my business. What is an exit strategy, and do I need one? I like that.
That's a great question, Jacob. So, the short answer is, you should probably have one, right? And an exit strategy can be something as simple as answering the question, how am I going to exit my business, right? So am I going to retire, or when I want to retire, am I going to leave it to my children, or am I going to sell it, right? So a simple, basic exit strategy says, what's going to happen? What is it going to look like when I retire? Some people have family members who want to take over the business. Other ones don't, right? Exit strategies can be as complex as bringing in third-party advisors. There are companies out there that we work with that specialize in exit strategy planning. So if your business is larger, and that's really, maximizing the exit value of your business, right? And, kind of predetermining who's going to buy that business. There are some businesses out there that are literally built and their 5-year plans are built on, I want to have this potential large competitor buy me out, right? And so their exit strategy is having XYZ company buy them out. And so there's, a lot of good basic exit strategies that can be implemented if you're a business owner and considering that.
Yeah, and we got to take a quick break here shortly, but let's go ahead and kind of get into that before we do. Essentially, what do you consider and what is involved in a good basic exit strategy, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a good basic one, every business owner should sit down and answer the questions themselves of when do I want to sell my business? At what price do I want to sell my business for? So what do I want to get? And who do I want to sell my business to? Who is the ideal buyer? Is there a company out there that I want to sell my business to? Or, just what is the ideal buyer coming and looking like? So, if it's an HVAC business or something along those lines, do they have licensing? Do they have that type of stuff, right? So I think the best place that any business owner could start, and at some point, everyone's going to exit the business. You can't run it forever, right? So really just sit down with those 3 questions. When do we want to sell? At what price do we want to sell for? And who's that ideal buyer, right? And it's pretty interesting that at what price do I want to sell for? You can have a number in your head, but we believe it starts with price at Lion. So determining the value of your business, right? You should probably, once you decide, hey, I want to sell my business for $3 million, you should probably take some time and sit there and say, well, what's it worth today, right? So it doesn't matter if you want to sell your business in 1 year are 5 years, if you have the number in your mind, you need to find out what the business is at today so that you can make strategic changes in your business to get that value that you want for your business. If your exit strategy says, I'm going to sell my business as soon as it's worth $5 million, well, then we need to find out what the value of the business today is, because if it's already worth $5 million, hey, we're there. Let's start, planning on the rest of the stuff. If it's only worth $4 million, then we need to sit down and start strategizing to say, hey, what changes do I need to make in the business in order to get the value that I want? And so that's one of the reasons that we do free business valuations all the time, is we know not everyone's ready to sell, but we believe the decisions you make for the future of your business should be based on what is the value of my business today and where do I want to walk away at. And then one of the last ones is just prepare your business to bring it to market, right? So do the little things necessary to get your business ready to sell.
Yeah, and I think we've covered that before. I think it's one of the things you really hit on, and it's important in that process for sure.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We got a ton of information to get onto the other side. We're just getting things started here on Ask the Experts. We're with Josh Carnes of Lion Business Brokers. So stay tuned. This is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We'll be back after a quick break here on Talk Radio 1190.
Lion Business Brokers work every day to help their clients successfully sell their business. They don't just list businesses, they represent them. With confidentiality in mind, they market your business to qualified buyers. They're a Texas-based business broker. Lion Business Brokers serves communities throughout the greater Dallas and Fort Worth area. Lion Business Brokers understands that you have a choice when it comes to business brokers, but you only have one choice when it comes to quality representation on the sale of your business. Owners who are looking to sell their business engage Lion Business Broker Services because they're trusted mergers and acquisitions specialists. If you're looking to sell your business, their business listing services benefit you by taking the hard work out of listing, advertising, and qualifying potential buyers. Having the Lion Business Broker team represent you gives you access to a team that specializes in marketing business in a way that will appeal to a larger base of qualified buyers. Contact Lion Business Brokers for more information at 512-537-3547.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. It's Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We're talking with Josh Carnes of Lion Business Brokers today. Great to have him back on the show. Before we get back to Josh, it's lionbusinessbrokers.com. That's lionbusinessbrokers.com. Phone number, it's 1-800-525-3542. That's 1-800-525-3542. And like I mentioned before, you can find him. You can email him at jcarnes@lionbusinessbrokers.com. He'd love to hear from you. Either one, either a call or email, totally fine. He'll get back to you as soon as possible. Let's pick up where we left off, Josh. I know we got a ton of things to get to. We've been talking about the market and kind of some of the listings and a good basic exit strategy. But we'll pick up and say, what do you mean when you want to prepare the business to bring them to market? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a lot like prepping your house to sell or prepping for an open house if your business is on the market, right? You take necessary steps to get your house ready. You take the necessary steps to have all these people come in and look at it, right? And the better prepared you are, the more money you're going to get for your house. The same thing relates over into the business world, right? So not only do you need to get your financials in order, I know I'm always harping on that, but you need to make sure, if you can do the extra things like making sure your processes and your procedures are all documented and optimized so that any potential business owner walking in can say, oh, this is how they did this. This is why they did this, right? It's the things that the better your business looks, the more the presentation of your business is put together. It's the differentiating between getting a premium for your business or just selling your business, right? The market is hot right now, just like it is in real estate. And if your business is making money, it's going to sell. The difference then comes down to, am I going to get a premium for my business or just get it sold? And what we mean by preparing your business is doing the little things that you can in order to get a premium for your business. And that's, it's funny because we tell people it's not just financials. It's not just documenting processes and procedures, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also wiping the dust off the shelves, clean up the front office, right? At some point, business owners, our potential buyers are going to walk into your business. And how does it look, right? What is the show you're doing? This is the staging aspect, for real estate, right? Those real estate agents that are professional, they stage the houses because they know it's going to get them more money. Your business is sometimes the same thing, right? If you walk in and it's clean and presentable and the potential buyer goes, this is great, I can walk in day one and start operating. Those are the little things that are going to get you better value for your business. But if they walk in and they're thinking, oh, this place is a mess, it's going to take me 6 months to get this place cleaned up just so I can come in here and sit down and start working, right? That mental aspect does come into play when selling your business. Even though we're talking about super large transactions and transactions that start on the spreadsheet and make sense that way, the little things still come into play as far as the presentation of your business. So that's kind of where we're going with that.
I know we talk about all this, but the main thing, and all the listeners out there are probably really intrigued, and the main talking point or question is, when is the best time to sell my business? I know that's the one that always comes up for you, right? Especially right now.
Absolutely, right. And what I like to tell people is, if you're thinking about selling your business, now is the time to at least start the conversation with a business broker or an M&A advisor about selling your business, right? So as soon as it's on your mind, start the conversation, right? So we have clients that we work with for sometimes 3 weeks, and sometimes I've had clients that I work with for 3 years prior to listing their business. And that is okay. It doesn't matter if you're 1 year or 5 years away. Start the conversation, reach out to a business broker, get a free valuation, right? That's what we're here to do, is to say, hey, let's start the process. And there's sometimes that, now is the time, right? We are in a super hot market. Things are selling. They're selling for a premium, right? So there are countless stories of pre-COVID and clients that we had prior to COVID hitting, when we were talking to them and they said, all right, when we hit this number, we're going to sell. And then when we come back and we said, all right, you hit this number, and they'd go, well, next quarter, I've got some big numbers coming in and I want to capitalize on that. And COVID hit. And so, if you were in the hospitality industry or something like that, those industries have just been hammered and they have not recovered, right? Hoteliers and things like that, those businesses are going at a deep discount today. So the best advice that I can give someone who's thinking about selling their business, start the conversation now and sell before you hit the peak of your business, right? Buyers want to know that there's still an upside. They're not buying your business for the money it makes today. That's where the number comes in. But they're buying the business because they believe they can do it better, right? And so the more that you can help show them that there's an upside to the business, the better off you're going to be, right? So if you look at the pizza business that we talked about earlier, that we have listed, that's 3 locations. It's a great opportunity. It's a good system going. That pizza business, just so it happens, they don't sell any beer or wine. They don't have a beer and wine license. I don't know about you, but when I eat pizza, I drink a beer, right? And do most people. Now, some people would look at that as a negative. We look at that as an incentive for any buyer coming in, right? We say, hey, look, here's how you make this thing make more money. And that's what buyers are looking for. So, these pizza business, they're doing great. They're cash flowing. Everything's there. But it's not at its peak. And that's a great time to sell. A lot of people think, hey, I've got to get my business the best it's ever been performing ever, lock down all the big clients, all of that. And it's just not true, right? You want to leave a little meat on the table for this new potential owner to come in and say, I believe I can make it make more money, right? So that's kind of the best time to sell is when you're in stride, the business is going well, and just start the conversation as soon as possible.
And we got a couple more minutes left on the show. We'll start wrapping things up, but I know the follow-up question tends to be with that is like, okay, I understand when I need to sell, but how long does this typically take to sell a business?
You know, it's an interesting question, especially sitting here today, right? So
Correct.
Typical transaction times, when we talk to someone, we're saying 9 to 12 months, right? It's average, if you look over the last 3 to 5 years, the average transaction time on industry has been right around 9 months. And that's from the time that you say, all right, I want to list my business. You know, that includes doing all the marketing, interviewing buyers, the whole thing to the time you actually get your check. But this market, and we don't know how long this is last, so we're still a little nervous about saying it, but the new current average, if you just look at about the last 18 months, this is post-COVID, average transaction time, so average time a business is sitting on market, is down to about 6 months from the time that they get an offer, which is really, really interesting. This means a few things. One, there's a lot of buyers out there right there, which we know, but they're moving quicker. They've got cash. You know, prior, when COVID just stopped, you know, SBA loans were running 4 or 5 months to get closed. The SBA is back up and running at full capacity. They're closing transactions in 30 to 45 days. The market, you know, from a technical standpoint, is kind of at its new normal. And it's hot right now. So, you know, we're still, if someone coming on, we're saying, hey, expect that 9-month lag time. You never know when it's going to happen. But we're seeing offers coming in on businesses and transactions wrap up in as little as 6 months right now, which is, you know, I know that sounds like a long time, but that's actually really, really quick and kind of crazy for our industry.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we got to wrap things up, but I want to end with this question because it's a really good one, and it's my favorite. And I know you get it all the time. What is the most important thing business owners should do if they are considering selling their business, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the number one question we get, and number one I love answering. And you'll hear me say this some of that. Get your financials in order, right? Clean up your books. Do the little things that you need to do to show a good mathematical presentation, right? So if you're still using some spreadsheets and stuff like that, invest in QuickBooks, invest in a CPA, some little online accounting system, so that when a buyer comes around, you can hand them a profit and loss statement, right? If you're sitting there, and making sure that everything's categorized, right? We met with a client the other day, and we're trying to do a valuation for them, and there is a line item that says uncategorized, and it was like $84,000 over the last year in uncategorized. We're like, all right, we're going to have to dive into that and answer that question, because that's the first thing any potential buyer looks at is financials. And so if you can't tell the story with financials, if you can't answer all the questions today, that's where you need to start. Get those financials cleaned up, answer the uncategorized questions, get the due diligence process kind of going for those buyers. And the better story you tell up front, the more money you get on the backside. So,
Josh, you got any closing remarks for our listeners out there?
You know, if you have any questions, email us. We have a contact form on the website, lionbusinessbrokers.com/radio. Happy to answer your questions. If you or any business owner you know is looking for a valuation, we have a great team. We have 6 business brokers and staff. I've got 2 senior M&A advisors that have been doing this for 20 and 30 years. They are here. They are happy to answer your questions and help you start the process. So don't be afraid to reach out. We are here to help.
One more time, it's 1-800-525-3542. That's 1-800-525-3542. LionBusinessBrokers.com. That's LionBusinessBrokers.com. And, of course, the email, if you want to shoot Josh personally an email, it's jcarnes, C-A-R-N-E-S, at LionBusinessBrokers.com. Great to have you again on the show on Ask the Experts, Josh. I look forward to talking to you here very soon, okay?
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Matt.
It's been another edition of Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We got another show to get into before we end things for the day. So stay tuned. This is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We'll be right back after a quick break, folks.